Okay, here we go. I'm gonna start this stream. Uh, damn, time flew by. I was laying down for like half an hour, or I thought it was like a half an hour. It was actually more than that. It ended up being like an hour, and I was almost late for this. Well, I guess I'm kind of late, but it's okay. Okay, let's figure this shit out real quick. I need to open Unreal.
As you know, that was a done deal long ago.
There is a bit of a problem with the project. I can't actually save it to source control for some reason. It is not letting me push any changes, which I guess is fine for now, but it's not ideal. All right, I guess I learned last time that Unreal does not like to be captured directly. It prefers to be captured through the display, so we're gonna have to do that, unfortunately. But this time I got music, which is nice, and we can go ahead and start. All right, so where I left off last time, we were messing around with the player settings, kind of got the player movement and the camera rotation to be nice and smooth, a little more realistic, a bit slower than your normal game. And after that, we messed around with the camera settings, but that's not really super important, so I kind of disable those for now. And we did some work on some interactive items, and I'm going to continue doing a little bit more work in that. And then after that, I kind of want to set up a widget so that it displays text on screen, basically subtitles. And instead of it printing "This is a mysterious cube" in the top left as a print statement, it'll print it on screen as subtitles. And then after that, I want to set up what is basically like a health system for the game, and create some special consumable items that you can pick up, and it affects your health either positively or negatively. So that's the plan for today. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, so I got the mysterious cube. This is basically the item that displays text, and I want to actually name these. So that's the parent. So what do I call this? It's an interactive item that displays dialogue. I don't know what I should name it. I want to rename these now before I forget later. Should make sure, yeah, all the audio is going through, which is good. Because we have the light switch, but that one's more specific. And then we have the lamp. But this one could be literally anything. Could be any object. Could be a photo frame. Could be a cup that is partially broken or something like that. It could be a pile of dirt in the ground. Anything, really. Interactive. I could call it like item with text. Something like that. No, that doesn't... I mean, that makes sense, but it doesn't sound good. That's the problem. Because there's going to be a new item, and that's going to be called consumable item. BP underscore interactive item. I guess I'll call it that. Even though these are all technically interactive item. Oops. Item. Alright. So, what was the other one I wanted to do? I had my list. Let me look at my list real quick. There it is. Part 2. Oh, right. I wanted to do the temporary inventory. So let's make a temporary inventory. And all that's going to really be is just a. Well, first, let's go into the the item parent. Sorry. The item parent. So since a lot of these different interactive items are going to do different things, they're going to function differently. And if you want to have an inventory, you don't want to be able to pick up every item. Not every item is going to be, it's not going to go in your inventory. Actually, hold on. I guess you don't really need to differentiate it because technically each child will determine what happens when you interact with it. So as long as the child isn't, saying, "Hey, pick me up, put me in your inventory right here," it won't do it. So I think that's fine. So in that case, then we can go ahead and go in the player blueprint. And I'm gonna comment this. Interactive line trace. There we go. So we're gonna add a variable, and this is going to be variable type item parent. And the reason why we want the parent is because this way we can add any child of that item parent into the inventory. So it could be a consumable that you can save for later, or a item that's part of a puzzle, something like that, basically. And this is going to be an array, because an array we can store more than one item in it, at least the information for it. Eventually, if I do expand on this inventory, which I probably will, you will need to adjust the variable itself, because it's not going to be a item parent array. It's going to be what do I want to say? It's going to have a structure attached to it, because you need to save the information for that item, technically. Because even if you if you make a consumable item and you select how much like the value that it increases your health, just storing the actual item itself isn't going to save the amount of health that it's going to give, because this isn't storing the information of that item. It's only storing the item. So eventually you would need to add, you would need to set a struct, or not a struct, an array map, and this would be a struct of some kind, which is basically like a data structure. I don't have any right now, but you would pick whichever one it is, and that struct would maintain the relevant information. All right, let's change that back. So for now, this is just going to be a temporary makeshift inventory. Let's call it player inventory, actually. All right. That's set up, and I'm going to set up a quick print. When we press Q, I guess that would work. Q. So basically, if we press Q, we're going to take the inventory. We're going to do a for each loop, which will loop through the entire array. And this will print out everything in here, the display name. And that is our makeshift inventory right there. It's just going to tell us what's in the inventory. But in order to be able to see anything in the inventory, we actually have to add stuff to it. So, I'm going to tweet, I got to clear. Now we got to make an actual item that can be, picked up. Interactive items. So we're going to make a child. pick up item. That's the essential, the technical term for it, I guess. It's a pickup. All right. First thing I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna go back in the item parent. I'm gonna remove that mesh. I'm gonna clear it out because I don't want all the childs to be the same picture, because then it looks identical. Although it still looks like it's the same. Yeah, it's clear. What are you doing? Yeah. I wonder how to refresh that. Huh. Okay. That's fine. So this one in specifically, oh shoot. Where's the parent? Yeah, on the parent we're gonna need to set this. So we need to set the static mesh. So on construction script, we're gonna set the static mesh. That means we need a static mesh variable. We're gonna call this item mesh because you can't call it static mesh. And it's gonna be a static mesh. And you're gonna wanna make that public too, so that you can edit that on the fly in the editor. And there you go. So it won't update right now because I haven't selected what this item right here is gonna be. And oh, also, good idea to also do that for the texture. I guess you don't need to do that. Set texture. What would you call it? Material, sorry. Material. There you go. And also make a variable. This is going to be item material. And this will basically set the color or material of the actual object. All right. So now we can go in our, oh, also make that public as well. I forgot I did the dialogue thing yesterday. Right, because that's what the cube is basically printing out. All right, so we're going to take this mysterious cube blueprint and we're going to set it to a cube and then give it that shader, the material it had last time. Which was, I think it was the metallic one. It's close enough. It's not the same one, but that's fine. It'll... Is that it? I don't think that's it. It seems like it did, you know, compile, but it didn't actually, like, it doesn't look right. The preview doesn't look right, which is really strange. I think that's it right there. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's just the sky material. That's all it is, really. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have my lamp. Oh, my lamp is gone now. Right, because we have to change that too. So that's also a cube. I want to use the default engine one. That's really need to move it a little bit, just a tiny bit. Material, ceramic? Oh yeah, there is a ceramic one, but it's tiles. Whatever, it's fine. And this one was the light switch, so that's basically a cube as well. And plastic. I mean, that's pretty plastic looking, but it's not. Whatever, it's fine. I've only got a lot of the default engine stuff, so there's not a lot to work with at the moment. I did import some sound effects too, because I might add some of those today. All right, so we're gonna close interactive item. We're in the pickup item now. Okay. So remember, we gotta override the item interaction function and remove this because we're not doing what the parent wants to do, which is basically just print this statement telling you forgot to override the function. So this is the pickup item. For this, we need the player character reference. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Some ways are better than others, so I'm going to do it the way I like to do it. So on begin play, on the parent specifically, because you want to make sure that all the child blueprints have it, you want to cast to your character, which for me it's first person character. This is basically the default first person character blueprint. And from object, you want to get player character. What you're doing here is basically just calling this blueprint, and from here you can actually access the blueprint itself. And what we need to do is promote variable from here. That way we have a specific reference to the character. And usually you can call it whatever you want, but I like to call it player ref. It's just a way of shortening it so you know what it is. And then if you be consistent across all your different blueprints, then you'll know what player ref means, or whatever you name it is. So now we have the player reference, and all the children have the player reference. So I click in here, player ref. I got the player ref. From the player, I want to get player inventory. So we're going to take the player inventory and we're going to add an item or an entry basically into the array. You want to grab self because that basically just grabs the blueprint itself or the item that's on the floor and add it to the inventory. And that's it. That's the very basic version of an inventory. This as simple as it can get. And now, oh, one more thing. You also need to destroy the blueprint itself, the item that you're interacting with. So destroy self. So it's going to add whatever you're picking up, and then it's going to destroy it. Pickup item. Let's make it a sphere. I don't know why the default sphere isn't near the top. There it is. Oh my goodness, is that the default sphere? Well, that's even bigger. Let's just leave it like that. All right. Remember, this is only going to store the sphere itself. Or the blueprint itself. It's not going to store any information unless if I set it specifically in the blueprint. So even if I went here and chose the static mesh and the material as well, because I already set the mesh here, it's already technically kind of like overriding what's set to the actual blueprint. So say if I make this a cube instead, this is already a sphere because I set it to be a sphere. So if I were to pick this up and destroy this in the process, add it to my inventory, and then drop it, it would drop as a cube, not a sphere, theoretically. Well, let's actually, yeah, let's try to do that actually. That'd be kind of cool. There, the dropping part is going to be a little bit more complicated, so I'll do that afterwards. I just want to show that this is actually being added to the inventory. So we got a sphere here, and I'm going to interact with it, and it's gone. If I press Q, there it is. If I replay, press Q, nothing. I should have done that first, but that's fine. Pressed E on it to pick it up. Look at that. Printed that item being added to the inventory. I would technically need access to... Actually, I can probably make a quick way of dropping everything. I would need a custom event probably. Oh, well, I don't really need a custom event. I'm going to press F. Keyboard. Sometimes I always type keyboard F. Keyboard F. And I want to take the entire inventory. I want to see if this works. And technically there really isn't a way to drop it, because the way it works is it's not physically anywhere anymore. It's been destroyed. All an inventory is just saving the information of the item you pick up. It's not saving the physical item that you saw. So that item is gone. That sphere is gone. So even if I were to say spawn actor from class, and it's going to spawn this specific item, oh, hold on. Is there another spawn, or is that the only one? No, yeah, that's the only one. And it would have to be item parent. And then always don't forget your transform. It does not like it when you don't put a transform. So you're gonna get self. Maybe let's add a scene point in front of the character. Which way is front? I think it's that arrow right there. Okay. So we're gonna add a scene point. Why did it make that everything invisible? Okay, that was strange. Don't know why that happened. Where is this? What is this attached to? I think it's freaking out because of the transform. Scene point. Transform. Get world transform. There. It's just having a stroke because, yeah, it's supposed to be visible. That happens sometimes when you have an error that you need to resolve. It'll cause the blueprint basically to become invalid. And you can't really do anything with the blueprint at that point. You got to fix whatever is the error. So the scene point is not in front of the player. Where's the player? Here it is. So this is the spawn point basically of where we're going to spawn the item from. So remove item. You can remove the index, I guess. So that should remove that from the actual array. So that's on the F key. So right now I'm pressing the Q to print the inventory. Nothing there. God, so many freaking notifications. So annoying. All right. I'm going to interact with it. Now I've got the sphere. If I press F, I don't think it worked. Let's see what happened. All right, well, It did go all the way through. I don't think it is going to work this way. There might be a little bit more I've got to do. Let me move the character more, a little closer to this, so I don't have to walk for too long. So we got it in our inventory. Where's the scene point? It's possible that the scene point might be in a bad spot. No, it's in a good spot. I might have to move it out further just to make room for the item. Just make room for the item. There we go. And if this doesn't work, then there might be a problem with what I'm doing. I didn't even see it. Okay. So it technically did remove it from the inventory because it didn't trigger twice on the left all the way to the end. It only did it once. So it is trying to spawn this, but it's not spawning correctly. Maybe if I do this, because we're trying to spawn an item parent. And the item parent... Oh, right, because the item parent doesn't have a physical mesh. It's blank. That's intentional. But the pickup, we know, is a cube. Right? Did I set it as a cube? Why can't I see the cube? It's just really weird. Where's the cube? Is it that small? It can't be that small. Where's the cube? This is strange. Is it I don't think it's because of this. Technically, you can just go in here and set it. There we go. That's really weird. I don't know why it wasn't showing. All right. So by default, the mesh is a cube for the pickup item. But this one I changed to be a sphere. So if this works, I'm picking up a sphere. It's in my inventory. And it spawns as a cube. And that worked exactly as intended. That's perfect. That's how that works. Problem is, it was floating midair, and it was also massive, but that's fine. We can always fix that eventually. We don't need to do that right now. So I guess that's how you do that. You gotta make sure you spawn the exact same class. Or maybe I don't... that might have not have been the issue. Hold on. Will it work with item parent? Yeah, I think it is working. It's just the fact that item parent is basically blank. It doesn't have a mesh. You can't see it spawn. So it is working. Yeah, but let's spawn the actual blueprint it is. why don't we actually go ahead and update this? We can make this into like an actual item. Because remember, right now, it's only spawning the base blueprint. It's not actually saving any information. The reason, and that's evident with the fact that it's spawning a cube but not a sphere. I also want to make sure we set physics. Set simulate physics. That way the item actually falls to the ground with gravity. So by default, it will not simulate physics, but it will have gravity enabled. So when you enable simulate physics, it'll fall to the ground like a regular object. I'm actually going to make this smaller because it's pretty massive. And that will actually make the sphere smaller. There we go. There we go. Perfect. And if I press F again, it's not spawning anything because there's nothing in my inventory. Cool. Now I'm trying to think in my head how to do this because I know how it's going to work, but how to set it up is something I've never done before. I want to be able to set up actual information that the item can store. I was playing around with the structure earlier today, so let's give that a try. So we're going to make a structure blueprint. That's in blueprints, structure. I'm going to call it S because of structure underscore item struct. In here, we're basically just storing all the information that the item is going to need to save. So let's start with the two basic things that I'm testing right now. Static mesh. And it's also a good idea to differentiate which variables are coming from what, because sometimes you'll have multiple blueprints with the same variable name. So in the data structure, I'm going to save this as static mesh ds so that I know it's from the data structure. And when you do this on the player, if you're saving something from one blueprint to the player, maybe add p in there for player, so that way you know it's from the player. Do the same thing with your save file or your game instance. You can put SF for save file or GF or GI for game instance. That way, yeah, you can tell the difference between each of the different variables if they're named the same thing. So this is going to be a static mesh. And then the second one we're going to do is the material. DS. Material. All right. So I'm going to save that, and we're going to go to the pickup item. Technically, I should probably put it on the parent. Probably. I'll put it on the pickup item for now. If we need it on the parent, then we can move it. I can move it later. All right. So when we're picking up the item, we got to add something here, an additional function. And in that function, we're basically going to set all of our all of the information we want to save. So item, info, transfer, something like that. This way we're going to save the two important pieces of information we want to save. So we want to get static mesh. And we want to get material. Yeah, that should be fine. Because some static meshes might have more than one material. Now, on the player, in our inventory, we need to change this, like I said before. This is no longer an array, it is now an array map. This is going to take a sec to actually process. Because it's got to find where it's being used and actually update it. So now we can't really just print that anymore. We can. I can get keys. Not get keys, just keys. And I can still print out the name of the item. There we go. That should still work. Because it's only getting the first part, which is the actual blueprint name. Technically. This one will be a little different, so we gotta wait for a sec on that. I'm gonna disable that because it's freaking out. Alright, it's freaking out even more. There we go. So now that that's set up, oh, we do need to change this. So this has to be the item struct. And that should be the dark blue there. Okay, perfect. Oh. There we go. Had to reset that. Got an issue here. Right, because that changed. So now that that changed, everything else is going to have to be adjusted. I'll have to change this in a bit. Of course, it's gotta freak out. Then, yeah, let's start from here then. Okay, so if we want to add the information to the player inventory, we got to do both parts. We got to add the blueprint itself, which will store the name and the blueprint type and all the default settings. And then we got to store the two pieces of information we're saving on the struct itself. And that is the static mesh, which I already have over here. I guess I don't need this. I don't know why I made this. This is just the same thing as we did over here. Yeah, we don't need that. There we go. Static mesh, material. Material interface object reference is not the same as get material. No, not materials. Is it from here? Get material? Is this the wrong variable type? Material. That seems right. Material object reference. It's different. Interesting. Material. What was it called? Interface? That's strange. I want to save everything. Jesus, everything wants to be saved now. Okay. There. That works. I'm hoping that actually does transfer correctly. Then we can just reattach it. We don't need the extra function because it can all just be changed here. So now that's saving. In the player, when we're spawning So first we need to get keys, which is right here. That way we can do the for loop. So we're going to spawn the specific item that was stored, the specific blueprint, and we need to set the information from the data structure in the player inventory onto the actual blueprint. And it would actually kind of make it easier if we just do this. So we're going to do a load, basically. A load function. Doesn't really need to be a function, but that's fine. Load item info. We're basically going to do the opposite of this. It's going to be the other way around. So we're going to take the inputs and actually come from the function itself. Set static mesh. That's the variable. I think that'll work. Because that's all going to set itself in construction. So when it spawns, it's going to set it. Take the static mesh variable and use that to make the actual static mesh what it needs to be. That should be fine. Set material. Not that one. This one. Oh, okay. Hold on. Set item mesh. That's the name of the variable. Gotta be careful there. And we're gonna drag that onto here, and that just basically creates an input for the function itself. And once we actually, set up everything that we want to save for the item, it'll all be here setting itself as it loads the information from the structure. All right, so I want to actually set a material here. Let's make it wood. Some kind of wood. This bright one will do. Let me actually turn the lighting up in here. What was it? It was hold on. Oh, it's in lighting. Light source. No, it wasn't that. What was it? It was the sky. Yeah, it was the sky sphere, but for some reason the light source was like overriding it. There we go. So let me make it nice and bright. And let's build the lighting. Let me save everything first. Let's build the lighting so it doesn't look dark on the ground there. Alright, this will be done in about a minute, maybe. As long as everything goes well. There we go. Easy peasy, no problems, it looks like. All right. So the item now has that function. So we're gonna grab a pin from here, and since this is the item class, oh yeah, that's gonna be a problem. See, now that we're not saying which specific class to spawn, we can run into the issue where we can't technically grab that function because this is not specifying which class we're spawning. Load. Yeah, see, it's not there. So at that point, then let's save this here. Actually, we're gonna need to do like a branch, basically. And we're gonna grab from here. Get. Actually, we could do equals equals. Oops, not minus minus. Equals equals. And if it equals a specific class, pickup item. It's probably better to do this in a function at this point. In fact, I'm going to do that real quick. Consolidate all this or collapse it into a function. And this is drop inventory item or items. For now, we'll leave it like that. I keep burping. What's wrong with me? All right, cool. So if the item itself spawns and it is a pickup item, then oh shoot, we're gonna have to cast to pick up item. Which I guess is fine. Because we need to be able to call the function. Let's just get rid of that. Pick up. Let's make it easy. Because what I can do is, instead of trying to make separate item blueprints that work that you can pick up, it's better to just do one child blueprint. So this pickup item is now not only a child of the item parent, it can be a parent of other different kinds of pickup items. So from here, I'm basically going to branch to consumables, to if we wanted them, puzzle pieces, lore pages or something like that, stuff that you can pick up, but they all do something different, basically. So we're going to have a parent. We're going to use this as a parent eventually, probably. But for right now, we don't need to worry about that. Just need to be able to get that function. So now we can load. I think we can load it. Oh, we still need to cast. Yeah, I think we still need to cast technically. Because what did I call it? Load item info. Oh no, there it is. We don't need to cast it. That's good. Alright, this is going to drive me crazy. I need this to be above everything. Just to clear some room out. There we go. Oh, and this will go to the index here. So we're going to load the info, and then we're going to set simulate physics so that it falls to the ground due to gravity, and then we're going to remove it from the inventory itself. We're also going to need to remove... Well, actually, I think that'll work. Remove index. Oh. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. Because it might not actually remove the index for the whole thing in the array map. Is there a remove from this? Yeah, that'll work. Remove, because it's different. This is not an array, this is an array map. And instead of using that, we're going to get the value that we got from here. All right, now at this point, it's getting convolutedly cramped in here. I'm going to move all that there. I think that's the only one that needed it, actually. That's fine. I'll keep it there. This as well. This has to move. There we go. I might move it down a bit. All right. So now we need to take hold on. Cool. So now we need to get some more info from this array map. We need to get the structure itself, which is storing the information. We could do values, but that requires another for each loop, and we don't want to do that. There's no way to get specifically what we want. Contains. No. I think it was find, right? Yeah. There we go. Find. So we're going to find the structure that is associated with this item blueprint. Oh, I've heard this in a video before. This song. All right. Now we have the structure here. We're going to split that, and there's the information we're looking for. So we're going to take the static mesh here, and we're going to plug it into item mesh, and do the same thing with material. There we go. I'll leave it there. Okay. So let me go from beginning to end here. So we're going to take the player inventory, which is comprised of an array map that has the item blueprint. This is no longer item parent. This is now pickup item. This might... No, I think we're good. So it's comprised of pickup item and item structure. We're going to get the keys, which is the pickup item blueprint itself, and we're going to put that through a for loop. Through that for loop, we're going to spawn each of them as class pickup item. We're going to load the information from the associated structure for each entry in the pickup item array, and we're going to set that information into this function or the pickup item. This will set the static mesh and the material of the item that is dropped. And we're also going to simulate physics so that gravity works on the item. And then we're going to remove it from the array map. And of course, there's an issue. What happened here? Why doesn't that work? That's strange. Why is it freaking out here? Oh, hold on. Owner. Okay. Nope, wrong one. Oh. They don't like each other. Oh, right. I forgot about that. Right. Item parent. Why is this still set to item parent? Let me completely remove everything from the for each loop. Yeah, it says pick up item, not item parent. For each loop. There we go. Now it's working, I think. All right. So remember, before, because the actual blueprint itself is set to be a cube, it was only going to drop a cube even though I picked up a sphere. But now that I've actually stored the information, hopefully, correctly, it should drop a sphere when I drop my inventory. So I've got pick up items, printing. If I press F, ooh, it didn't work. Interesting. Okay. Do I need something here for owner? It might need that. I'm not sure. No, I think what we're doing here is maybe we should actually set the mesh instead of setting these variables. Oh, I guess we can just grab it from the parent. Which is weird because that should have worked. You know what? Before I do that, let me make a print statement here real quick. Yeah, oh, I guess I could do it from here. Print. Oh, right. It's in here. It's all like already available. I just need to actually grab it. I just want to print what these are. So print that. Print that. See, now we're in the debugging phase, which is fun. So when it gets dropped, it's going to print the statement or statements, and then it's going to say what it's supposed to actually have. World grid material cube. Interesting. So it's not actually saving. Oh, I might be doing the... Hold on. Ah. We shouldn't be doing this. We're saving the default settings for the blueprint. Let's save what we're actually using, because we're in here. We're actually changing the variables. We're not changing the actual settings. These are being changed, and then in the construction script, it's changing the setting for that specific instance of the blueprint. So we need to set. Hold on. Get item mesh. Get item material. That's why. Just bring those together. That's fine. And in here, it's okay to just print the actual default stuff, because it's going to be changed anyways from the construction script. Still didn't work. Huh. And it's when we're changing this. Let's print these then. Hold on. Let's print these then. Sphere. It is saving the information onto the meshes. It's just not running the construction. Oh, that's the player. Yeah, pickup item is running the parent construction script. And this is what the parent construction script is doing. On construction. I assume that blueprints do run construction if they're being spawned in. That wouldn't make sense if they don't. All right, well then for the load, we're just going to actually set the static mesh. We'll just do that. Where was that? Here. Let's just actually do this. So we're going to do the mesh and the material and the targets. And that should work. Perfect. Okay, it worked. So if I pick it up again. Huh. Oh, right. Because we're not saving. So we're saving this information, but we're loading into this information, basically. So when we pick it up again, we're not actually saving. We're not saving anything because this is blank. So let's just I mean, we would have to do both, basically. I just find it weird that this doesn't work. This should work. Because this should run on construction script and set the actual settings. And it's even printing the correct information. Yeah, it's printing it over and over again. It's just not actually setting it. This is making me think that it's not printing construction or doing construction. Print. Print hello. And we're gonna make that green just to differentiate it a little bit. Yeah, it prints hello. That construction script is running, which is, you know, obvious. But I'm confused as to why it's not actually saving or setting that information. Item mesh, item material. For now, I guess I'm okay with setting it twice. It shouldn't be the end of the world, basically. It's kind of annoying they have to set it twice. Yeah, it's basically permanently saved. I just find it really odd that you have to save it in 2 different places. Okay, well, that works. Let me do a duplicate actually to see what happens when you do 2 different items. Oh, Jesus. Let's make this a different material. Let's make this that dark colored wood. This doesn't drop. Oh, I might have set this up unintentionally to drop the entire inventory. I think I did. Let's see what happens. I'm curious because I feel like it's gonna break or something. All right, we can see we have 2 different items. It did spawn them both, but it didn't break. Oh, and they're rolling around. Look at that. And if you pick them up, I just noticed that they're changing names in the array. But I'm only able to drop it once, which is good. What's the array length? I'm wondering. I want to say it's printing or it's adding to the array, but not actually removing the entry. Well, I think it's emptying it, but it's not deleting it. Length, print. I want to print the length of the array. I have a sneaking suspicion this isn't doing what I think it's doing. Two. As you can see, the item names are changing as I pick them up. But it's still only 2. Okay, I think that's fine. There's definitely more you could do with this to expand. You want to probably add more variables to this eventually. Like item name, if it's a consumable, you're going to want health value increase or decrease or whatever. There's more you could add to this, but this is the bare bones version of it. Yeah, that's a working inventory. The most basic form of it. You can actually pick up items, you can see that they're in your inventory, and you can drop them. I love that. I could adjust this to just drop 1 item. What did I do? There we go. We got to get rid of this for each loop, though. So if we get the keys... I wonder... Gets... Is there a way to like get an array's first entry? There might be a way, but I don't know. No. There's got to be a way to just get the top entry. No, not find. There's got to be a way, right? There might be, but I think it would require like a physical inventory. Because in a physical inventory, the specific widget box that holds the information will drop. Oh, actually, I think we could just do this. Just get whatever is the 0 entry. This might work. Let's actually try it out. So that's the first one right there. That didn't work. Ah. I missed the pin. So that's first, that's second, first, second. Okay, there we go. Yeah, because if you're in an inventory menu, oh. One, two. Oh, that's not right. If I pick up that one, that should be at the top. There's some funky stuff going on there. I got it perfect. Oh, I'm driving myself insane with those lines, aren't I? Let's get rid of those. For duration, so those will disappear after a short sec. So that should drop. First, second. First, second. First, second. That's not right. That wasn't the correct one. Huh. Okay. Oh, we should be printing. Oh, come here. That's called pickup item. That's called pickup item 1. Pickup item 1 is dropping now. Pickup item 4. Oops, I keep dropping it unintentionally. 5 and 7. So that one is 9. That one is 8. That one is 11. That one is 10. Yeah, it's dropping the one that was picked up last. It's not the end of the world. I'll eventually fix this problem when I actually need the inventory to start working properly. But for now, this will do. It's fine. All right. Let's do the widget real quick. I want to do that dialogue widget. So I'm gonna close everything first. There's actually a couple. There's 2 different widgets we could make. We'll see. So a widget is basically just like a UI element that can pop up. Jesus Christ, why there's so many of these people? Hello, Aaron. Welcome. I'm glad you're not a spammer. I appreciate it. Had a couple of those today already. All right, where's that widget? User interface widget. So this will be the W_dialogue widget. It's kind of redundant, but whatever. That's fine. One thing I want to stress: I hate widgets. I hate designing them. I hate setting them up. It's the worst. But it's fine. We're gonna do it. So let's see. We're going to put. I guess we can put like a image, but it's just gonna be like the background almost. Remember to anchor it in the middle. I'm just gonna have it like down here in the center. Oh no, that's the anchor point. Right there, roughly. Size. So let's make this bigger. Ideally, when you get to the point of polish, this would actually increase and decrease in size with the actual text you're showing. But for now, I'm just going to make it like this. Could I... What is that symbol? See your game so far? I think is what you meant. Yeah, quick overview of what I've done since I started on Tuesday. This is the, if you know Unreal Engine first person template, this is the first person template. All I did was disable some of the basic settings for this. Disabled VR, the first person gun, made the mesh invisible because it shows the arm on screen, stuff like that, and disabled shooting. And then I messed with some of the movement and sensitivity settings. So if you're used to the traditional first-person template, this is what it looks like and feels like now. It's a little bit slower, a little more grounded, realistic. That's the point of the project. It's supposed to be a little more realistic and slower paced. And then after that, I worked on the parent blueprint for an interactive object. So I set up the parent, and then I started with the very basic interactive object that just displays text, like this mysterious cube. And I'm about to actually update that so that it shows a dialogue widget at the bottom of the screen. No, it's not going to be for VR. I don't know how to program for VR, so I will not be making it for VR. I could have had experience, but it depended on the project that we ended up making in college, and I ended up on a project that didn't do any VR. So after the cube, I set up a light and switch. So these are 2 separate blueprints. The switch is just turning on and off the light that it has a reference to. And this is the lamp, the same thing, but instead of 2 blueprints, it's 1. It's just a lamp, basically, turning on its own light. And then today I got started on pickup items, and I have a pickup item blueprint and a player inventory, a makeshift one at the moment. And I can see that the inventory is on the top left printing, and I can actually drop the items in the inventory. There's a bit of a bug where it drops them in the wrong order. Like I picked up the white one there and then the brown one, but the brown one dropped first. I'll fix that eventually. It's not a huge deal, but I'm able to pick up and drop items from my inventory. And now that's pretty much it. You've caught up to everything. I'm now working on the widget for the dialogue. Well, that item can go bye-bye. It's gonna go over there. So yeah, I'm gonna do the widget real quick. So this will be black. Yeah, because we want this to be a bit darker to basically outline the text. Oh, and the opacity. We gotta set the opacity. This to like 50%. Probably doesn't need to be this tall. And then we're gonna add some text. Visible. I would love to. I've tried to. It's just rather difficult. I think I would need to follow a tutorial of some kind. I might do that off stream and then rebuild it on stream to my liking. I could probably do that because I think that would make building your inventory and all the required mechanics a little bit easier. Okay, text. Let's make that smaller. And we're going to bind this. I hate key binding because sometimes they don't work the way you want them to. How does this work? I keep forgetting. Okay. That's the name of the key binding. So text binding. Wait. I think that's right. I hate this part of UIs. I don't get text binding or key bindings. Whatever, we'll figure it out. Let's just leave it at that. I don't really care. This is just bare bones game project at the moment. Polish is something we'll worry about later on. We need to center this. All right, and I just want to see what this looks like. So we're going to do that in the level blueprint. Oh, multiplayer is a bit out of my area of expertise. Maybe one day, but right now I want to work more. I want to work something on something that's more something that like like a beginner, not beginner, like beginner to intermediate indie dev can do on their own, and like a simple narrative-based game is probably the best thing I can do right now, because most of my experience is with player interaction and mechanics and stuff like that. So just creating, you know, the ability to interact with everything in the world, that's ideally what I want to do for this game. Most items, not everything. And kind of build an experience based off of that. I wouldn't say this is going to be a full-blown game. I would say this is going to be a game experience, which is a little different because it's probably not going to be a fully priced game. It might not even be a game that has a price tag. It might just be a demo. Who knows? I've made a couple of 2D demos back in the day when I was in college, but I haven't made one in a while. I might make one. If I get tired of this game, which I do feel burnout sometimes with certain projects. If I feel some burnout on this one, I'll start a new one and I'll do a 2D project. I'll easily do that because that sounds like fun. And I could just use some Photoshop work to make some sprites and make that easier than just importing a bunch of paid for or free assets. We're gonna create a widget, and the owning player is get player. Is it character? No, controller. There we go. We're gonna make this a variable. Dialog widget, and we're going to display viewports. Add to viewport. And this way we can actually see the actual widget. Oh, we need to actually set the widget. Yeah, I'll definitely make the full version eventually. Right now, I'm just working on, because this is the second version of the project, and I'm starting from scratch. I just want to get the core mechanics done, and then dive deeper into the design and this. Oh, I keep burping. I don't know why. And the design and the story of the game, get that all fleshed out, and then start working on the full game. Because I have to do everything by myself. Dialogue. Because I have a really good idea of what I want to happen in the game, so I'm gonna make the things I need to make first, and then finish writing the story and figuring out, basically figuring out the ending, because I don't know the ending yet. In fact, I might have to rewrite the whole thing because I don't remember what I wrote. Yeah, maybe I could do cheat codes or God mode or something like that. Let's test this. Yep, there it is. It worked. And it didn't show any text because there was nothing in here. Okay. So our interactive item is what's going to be displaying text. So let's basically take the way we did here in the level blueprint, and we're going to add it to interaction function. Here it is. So when we interact with that cube or any other interactive item like it, well, this project won't require any kind of power-ups or anything like that. It won't have anything like that. It's a little more grounded and realistic. So I want to do more of that stuff first. If I do the 2D game, I can do something a little more like along the lines of like, say, like a Mega Man game or a Metroid game where there's like power-ups, jumping stuff like jumping areas, mini boss fights, whatever. That's when I'll do stuff that's a little more fun sounding, I guess you could say. Oh wait, hold on. So we're gonna make the widget, and then we're going to take that text, and then from the widget, that text. No, get. See, this is what I don't understand about the key bindings. What was my key binding called? Text binding. Did I save this? That's probably why. Oh, why is it a local variable? I don't know why it said it as a local variable. Promote. I might have clicked the local variable. That's why. This is gonna be a semi-open world because it's not really a whole world. It's going to be like a house almost. Narratives, like a narrative game. If you've ever played or seen the Telltale games, like the Walking Dead one or the Batman one, or Batman ones, I think. Those kind of games. That's what I want to do, but in a first-person perspective. There are other game examples, like what was that one called? Firewatch. Firewatch was a big one. It came around it was around that same era. This is supposed to be basically like an homage to like the narrative walking simulator games, with my own unique story to it. And I want to add some twists, but I need to, flesh that out design-wise, see if that would work. Yeah, set that there. Save. Text. Yeah, there it is. Wait. Text. No, it's not the tooltip. This is why I don't like widgets. Let me unbind this. Is there a reason why this is here? Or is that required? Why is this here? Alright, see you in a bit. Oh. This is gonna be a while. And I saw a video how to do this earlier. What's wrong with me? Oh. I see it now. Let's get rid of both of those. Those are functions, basically. Create binding. Let me see if I can find that video. But watch it real quick, because I literally saw how to do it today. And I can't remember. No, not my videos. Watch later. I'm literally at the part too. Am I? It's hard to tell what's on the screen when it's really low resolution. Oh, I need to go back. Oh, it might have been in the previous video. Damn. What playlist is this gonna be in? Oh, I see. Okay. I'm looking for the playlists. Oh, there it is. Oh, this is the advanced version. Hold on. Oh no. All right, Aaron, see you later. Thanks for joining. Have a good night. This is really bugging me how I can't figure this out. There it is. Oh, there's another one. All right. It's actually at the part I need to see. No, it's in the first part. Ah! It was at the end of the first part when he did it. All right. Really should probably do this beforehand from now on. There it is. All right. Yeah, he's doing the binding. Wait, what? Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, I figured it out. Okay. First, I need to do is delete something real quick. God, a lot of bots today. Fuck off. Okay. All right, figured it out. So, in the video, which I should mention, is by a channel called Ryan Laley. Love the channel. Ryan Laley and also Matt Aspland are two of my favorite game content creators, or game dev creators, basically. Make a lot of content on their YouTube channels, doing different kinds of tutorials. They I would consider to be like way more experienced than I am, but whenever I'm like stuck figuring out something, usually I go to one of those two channels. So Ryan Laley shows that you don't need to do a binding. Instead, what you have to do is in your graph, you want to set a variable, and you want the variable to be the type of variable, whatever you need. So for instance, we need dialogue text. So you make a text variable on the top left, and then you call it whatever you want. And then back in your designer, where it says binding next to the text entry here, you can choose the property right there, dialogue text, and set it there. And in the actual the interactive item blueprint, when you're interacting with it, you are going to set the dialogue text variable on the widget, or in the widget blueprint, and that's it. You just set that there, and we no longer need that print. And this is what it looks like. Did I not change it? Oh my goodness. Didn't change it. Let me do that again. All right, so again, because I fucked it up and I didn't change the screen. Ryan Laley's video, the one that I was watching earlier today, showed him making a variable instead of making a key binding, and this variable is the text variable because that's what we're doing over here in the inventory, and the interactive item is using a text variable. So once we make that variable on the widget, we take the text itself. Where's the text? Right there. And we go where the key binding option is, and instead of doing a binding, we just connect the new variable that we created, compile and save that, and then head over to the interactive item. From the dialogue widget, we pull dialogue text, this right here, and we set player dialogue to dialogue text. And then this is what that will look like. There you go. You got subtitles now. But it's only going to work with this blueprint. And I think I just double created it. Yeah. If you keep pressing it over and over again, it's going to continuously create that widget. You do not want that. What you want to do is, before all this, oops, I don't know why I didn't grab all of it. Before all this, you want to add a little something extra. We're going to add a is valid. This is valid is going to see if the widget that we're trying to create is already there or not. So we're going to get the dialogue widget. If it already exists and we press the interact function button, we don't want it to create the widget again. We want to, well, we're going to have to switch this. So instead of, if it is not valid, create the widget. And I'm going to move this down. That's fine. That's a good spot. So if it's not valid, that means it doesn't exist, and we're going to create it. And then I'm also going to actually... Oh, this is a problem. I hate this. I hate this. We need to... we need a delay. Because we need to delete the widget after a certain amount of time. And we need a delay, but this is a function, which I really hate. I really hate that you can't use delays in functions. I'm trying to decide how we're going to do this. So after it displays all this, I guess what we could do is have a custom event here. And if we need to move this to the parent, then we can do that eventually. Delay. Widget delay. Wait a minute. Doesn't the parent have something on begin play? So where's that on this? Oh, interesting. We need that. Where did that go? Yeah, this is the event graph too. Huh, that's strange. It should have that. For some reason it's not. Or it doesn't have it. I might have deleted the... Might have deleted it at the beginning. Well, maybe, that's possible. And then from here you gotta pull, call from parent. And there, now you do, now this blueprint is doing what the parent is doing. Which is strange. I don't... How was that working before? I guess it doesn't require the player specifically. Right, it doesn't actually require the player, but that should be fine. It was working before. It doesn't matter. But I'll leave it there because it's safer to have in case if you need it in the future. In that case, I will check all the other ones. Yeah, I guess they don't all need it because they're not referring to the player. Only the pickups will. So let's just get rid of it. We don't really need it. Do we? Actually. I don't think we need it. We're referring to the player controller, but not the actual player. So we need a delay. Yeah, I guess we don't need it. If it's working without it, then it's fine. We don't need it. We don't need to add it to the other ones too. The only one that needs it is the pickup, I'm pretty sure. Because it actually does try to reach out to the player. Let's promote this to a variable, and we're going to call this widget delay. Alright, we can't call it the same thing. Let's call it widget shut off. So after the delay, that didn't save. What the hell? Oh, I need to compile first. There we go. So after the delay, let's say it's 5 seconds. Then it's going to replay or re-trigger this function right here. But this time, because the widget already exists, instead we're going to remove it from the screen. And I think you just do it like that. You're basically setting it as empty. Oh, we should also remove it from the viewport. Maybe? I think that should work. I think that'll work. Let's see. But after a delay, that didn't fire, did it? I want to see what happens as it happens. All right, viewport, not viewport, event graph. Well, no, there we go. Okay. Ugh. Might be ready to call the stream soon. But let's finish this up real quick. So we interacted with it and it created it. That's the bottom. Oh, I know why. It didn't fire this event. You gotta add that to the end there. There you go. And it's gone. That looks good. And maybe let's reduce this down to like 3. For testing purposes, it's probably a good idea to do it a lower number, just so you can see that it's working. But it is working. One thing I do want to add, I want to add a variable as well to basically prevent the player from spamming the interaction with this. So interacted with the question, basically, because it's a Boolean. We're going to set that to false here. By default, it's going to be false. When you interact with it, it's going to be set to true. Yeah, okay, that'll work. And before the is valid, we're going to check that Boolean. We're going to do a check real quick. If you didn't know, if you're an Unreal programmer, there's a lot of shortcuts you can use to pull up commonly used nodes. So you can press B and hold it, and then left click to create a branch. You can do O and it'll create a do once. You can do let's see, G to create a gate. P is begin play for whatever reason, even though I feel like that should be print. You get the idea. You can actually see all the shortcuts in the I think it's in the preferences, maybe something like that. I'm not sure, or in the settings, one of the two. So we're going to check to see if it's interacted with. It's going to start off by default as false. So false, gosh darn it, will bring you here. Let's bring this to full screen. False will take you to the is valid. If it ends up true, we don't want the player to be able to do anything. We don't want anything to be fired. So when that happens, it's going to check to see if it's false. It's going to check to see if it's valid. If it's valid, then it's going to remove it. But the only time it's going to run the function when it is valid is after this delay and after it replays the function again. So here it'll be false, but it'll be true here. So it'll remove it. Otherwise, if it's not valid, means it hasn't been created yet. It's going to create the widget, add it to the viewport, set the text, and do the delay. But first, before the delay, we're going to set interacted with as true. And then that will prevent you from spamming the interact button. I mean, you can still spam the interact button, but you can't actually do anything until the delay is over. So I can spam it over and over again. It's not creating an additional widget. As you can see, it's just the one. And then once that delay comes through and re-triggers the function, it'll delete the widget. And there you go. That's the basic version of a dialogue subtitle system, basically. It's still missing dialogue, but this is just subtitle for now. But look at that. It works, and I love it. It's pretty simple looking. And for my first time doing it, it's not bad. Could use some polish, but we'll worry about that later. And you could do that for all the different interactive objects. You just need to change the text, basically. I do want to do a different widget for when I pick up an item, and instead of it showing in the middle of the screen, it's going to print on the bottom left or like on the left side that you're picking up an item and the name of the item. It'll probably say something like the item name was added to your inventory or something like that, instead of text like subtitles. But I'm gonna save that for next time. I think we'll do that and then maybe do the health system that I was gonna do today. But we ran out of time because we spent quite a bit doing a whole half an inventory system roughly, and subtitle dialogue or subtitle widget. All right, that's gonna be it for today. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for when you want to get notifications, or so that you get notifications for when I'm streaming or when I upload a video. Make sure also leave a like on the VOD as well because it helps the channel a lot. And join me tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do a bonus Stardew stream. That way I can get a whole season done in a week. So yeah, there'll be a bonus stream tomorrow in Stardew, and that'll be at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then I'm gonna take a break Sunday and Monday because I don't stream on Mondays. And I'll be back on Tuesday with more Stardew. I almost said Starfield. Damn, is it out already? Can I play it, please? No, I gotta wait a couple more months. All right, see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Standard.